on the line is Dr. Elise Strydom, Chief Negotiator for the Chamber of Mines. Elise, listening to that very interesting interview, the word that stood out for me was competitor. NUM talking about its competitor, AMCU. From where you're sitting, has this made life more complicated?
Yes, of course it does, because now the focus shifts towards inter-union rivalry and to see what you can manage to get from employers to show your members, and also maybe to accrue to get new members. So the focus for me then from the union side shifts not to necessarily what's in the best interest of the employees, their members, and in the best interest of the industry, but what is in their own personal best interest. And this is it makes it very difficult.
Elise, you couldn't see that interview, but it was pre-recorded, and the only time that the NUM spokesperson actually broke into a smile was at the end, and Alec was absolutely right. As soon as the word competitor or competition came up, he broke into a smile, and it was almost like a football manager talking about another team. It was actually not distasteful, but it was very interesting, the body language. Let's go back now to the headline that has been screaming at us, and that is 4%. Tell us a little bit more about 4% and what it actually means, and also the other benefits that are not in that headline.
Well, the 4% is a 4% on the basic pay, and it's across the board, which means it's not only for the categories 3 to 8 employees, but for all the employees that will be covered by the wage negotiations. We are talking about 120,000 employees. So a 4% increase in respect of 120,000 employees. It would mean that you would have an increase of about 900 million rands on your wage bill, and it would mean that it increased the annual wage bill to about 23 billion rands. So a 4% increase on basic across the board is not insignificant, bearing in mind the fact that we're a very labor-intensive industry and that we already pay wages that are way above other labor-intensive industries.
But where does this 4.5 or 4,700 rand a month come in? That's the credo, or the little figure, the number that Lesiba Seshogga has been throwing up.
Is he perhaps referring to the basic wage of the surface workers, because they earn round about that number, but it's a basic wage for a surface worker at entry level. The basic wage at this stage for an underground entry-level person is 5,000. We are saying with a 4% increase on basic pay, the guaranteed pay of an entry-level underground worker will be 8,900 per month. If we say guaranteed pay, we talk about your basic wage, your living out allowance, your medical benefit, and your retirement contribution. That guaranteed pay still does not include your variable pay. It doesn't include all your other allowances. And remember, these guys work on profit share, and they're also on performance bonuses. That's quite a significant portion of the total cost to company. So the 8,900 would be, just to repeat, guaranteed pay, entry-level person, if we give them a 4% wage increase.
Elise, you've been at this for years. Is this the most difficult round of negotiations, or the anticipation of being the most difficult round of negotiations you've ever had to deal with?
Undoubtedly. Most difficult for various reasons. I know that I talk to people, the converted, I would think, in the sense that you are very well aware of where the gold industry is finding itself economically. We're in a very difficult position. And then also we have now to deal with inter-union rivalry. We have invited AMCU to the table, but it makes things much more complicated having two rival unions in one room. It makes it difficult. Thus far it's been done very professionally, I must say, during the negotiations, but it is going to make it very difficult to try and find people to be prepared to actually focus on the industry, on the well-being of the industry, on sustainability, and to make the right choice and the right decision, in actual fact, for the benefit of the industry and for the employees' benefit.
Elise, we know that capital is cowardly, and we also know that international investors are looking at this with both eyebrows raised. Is there any support that you can give them, any comfort that although this is undoubtedly the most difficult stretch of negotiations, as you've explained to us, that you are confident that it's not going to continue or drag out and result in a strike?
It will not be in anybody's interest to drag this out indefinitely. You know, people want certainty also on the mines, the employees. The wage agreement has already expired. So, you know, people want to go back to normality, know where they stand, and it's in everybody's interest. So from our side, we'll do everything in our power, you know, to ensure that we meet regularly, that we negotiate in good faith, that we try and find to, you know, make progress. As far as the issue of possible strike action is concerned, it's always a possibility, but it would not be that we haven't tried our best as the companies to try and find a solution in a professional manner with the unions. But it would require also the unions to focus on the matters at hand, and also really to start focusing on what is in the best interest of the industry.